A first reaction and analysis of Killer Queen by Queen. The band Queen was comprised of Freddie Mercury on lead vocals and piano, Brian May on guitar and vocals, Roger Taylor on drums and vocals, and John Deacon on bass. Before forming Queen, May and Taylor played together in a band called Smile, and Freddie Mercury happened to be a fan of the band and encouraged them to experiment with more elaborate stage and recording techniques. He then joined them in 1970 and suggested the band name Queen. Deacon was then recruited in 1971 before the band released their debut album in '73. So I've heard some of Queen's music. It's used in media quite a lot, but without growing up with Queen's music around me, I grew up in an area where practically everyone listened to hip hop. I don't know a ton of their catalog. There are a bunch of songs I really don't know anything about, like this song, Killer Queen, which happens to be one of their breakthrough songs. It turned the band Queen into worldwide rock stars. So I'm excited to get into this track. But before that, if you do end up enjoying the video, hit me with a like, perhaps share it with a friend if you think it's worth it. Also, if you're into daily music content and analysis, just like this video, then subscribe and join our growing community. Here we go. This is Queen, Killer Queen, performed at the Top of the Pops 1974.
She keeps a Moet Chandon in a pretty cabinet. Let them eat cake, she says, just like Marie Antoinette. A building remedy for Khrushchev and Kennedy. At any time of invitation you can't decline. Caviar and cigarettes, well versed in etiquette, extraordinarily nice. She's a killer queen, gunpowder gelatine, dynamite with a laser beam, guaranteed to blow your mind. Recommended at the price.
Okay, I've got to pause it there. In about 40 seconds of a track, there's already like 30,000 things that have hit you at once. They have this incredibly operatic style. There's these harmonies going on. They're very unique, eclectic sounds that they're using. There also happens to be a bunch of different instruments which kind of pop up as you go along. The guitar will come in, the pianos will come in, the drum is there and then it's not. And then through the whole thing, there's Freddie Mercury's voice, which is just on a different planet. I mean, from the second he starts singing, from that very first note, it's just different. There's just simply no one like him. Also, I should say, I really love these lyrics. These are some really brilliantly witty lyrics. Very, very witty. You can tell this is a British band. I love the use of like Marie Antoinette, Khrushchev, and Kennedy. So he's like using historical stuff. And then he mentions her being a gunpowder guillotine, dynamite with laser beam, which is, you know, probably referring to Marie Antoinette there, who I guess this story could kind of be about, right? Let them eat cake, she says, just like Marie Antoinette. So then he kind of goes on to describe caviar and cigarettes, this sort of extraordinary life she's living. She's a killer queen, gunpowder guillotine. I mean, this really could be about Marie Antoinette, who, I mean, if anyone doesn't know, was the Queen of France before the French Revolution, and so guaranteed to blow your mind. Interesting that they used those kind of lines. We all know what happens. A lot of guillotines and stuff were used, a lot of fighting, gunpowder. Guns were used by the French people when they revolted. Love these lyrics. This is some great writing. Okay, let's go back a good 5-10 seconds. Go again.
With a laser beam, guaranteed to blow your mind. Recommended at the price, insatiable and appetite. Wanna try?
There's so much going on.
Complications. She never kept the same address. In conversation, she spoke just like a baroness. Middleman from China went down to gauge your mind. Then again, incidentally, if you're that way, love you came naturally from Paris. Because she couldn't care less, fastidious and precise. She's a killer queen, gunpowder gelatine, dynamite with a laser beam, guaranteed to blow your mind.
Okay, just before we get into what looks like it's going to be a guitar solo, I find it quite interesting. I just kind of had a little twist with the lyrics there where he says to avoid complications, she never kept the same address. Interesting. So is he referring to the Queen, or is he talking about perhaps a lady who like sort of sleeps around and lives this high class life from kind of from her sexual escapades, perhaps someone who is like a escort or something like that. Maybe, I mean, he could be talking about that. And I love the fact that he's like using this dynamic of her being a queen. I mean, this could be literally talking about someone who lives this lavish lifestyle as a royal or escort, a lady of the night. It's quite a cool dynamic that he's got going on. He's using them to kind of compare and contrast it. Really, really smart writing there. Again, very witty, very witty. Went down to Geisha Mina. Something about perfumes naturally coming from Paris. Really cool, man. Okay, guitar solo off. Go back for a good 5 seconds.
Dynamite with a laser beam, guaranteed to blow your mind.
This must be Brian May.
Of a hat, she's as willing as playful as a pussycat. Momentarily out of action, temporarily out of gas. You're absolutely dry. She's out to get you. She's a killer queen, gunpowder gelatine, dynamite with a laser beam, guaranteed to blow your mind. Ooh, recommended.
Oh, his voice. What a crazy sound to this song. Wow. Okay. I will start with the good and the bad. Firstly, this is a totally unique experience. I mean, I've certainly not heard music quite as quirky and unique as this. Very operatic, like we're watching a play or something like that in front of us, you know. I think that's sort of the concept of the track. So let's start with the good and the bad. The good, love the writing. Really, really cool story that they told here. Another sort of dynamic between the kind of escort lady of the night, queen, royal pairing that he's using is, I thought when he said recommended at the price, insatiable and appetite, when he was talking about insatiable and appetite, I thought it meant like, you know, Marie Antoinette was living a lavish lifestyle. She can't get enough food, jewels, etc., etc. But of course, when he's talking about in a sexual sense, insatiable and appetite is, you know, what you'd imagine a escort would be. You know, she can't get enough. She's perhaps addicted to sex. Recommended at the price, right? So, yeah, again, it works both ways. Recommended at the price, you know, spending a lot of money. The queen, recommended at the price. Of course, you have to, you know, pay money to be with a lady of the night. So, love that dynamic. Great writing, very witty, and his voice is just, I mean, it speaks for itself. It's absolutely brilliant. What I didn't like, I couldn't quite get into the music of the song. I don't really love the music of the track. It didn't really catch me. It's just, it's very eclectic and strange. It's strange on purpose, you know. There's different parts to it. There's a guitar solo that kind of juts in halfway through. There's opera singers doing harmonies in the background. It's a lot to take in at once, and maybe with time I'll get used to this style, but at the moment I didn't love it musically. But you know, again, this is an introduction into their music, and yeah, I'm willing to keep listening and seeing where this kind of goes from here. So I don't know, I'll give it kind of a half thumbs up, and let's see how it goes. Until next time.